This is Access 2019, Module 1, Part 2. We're still looking at creating a database, but this time we're going to look at creating a table in the design view instead of the datasheet view. You should have already created your Lakewood database in Part 1. And you should also have created your visit table in datasheet view, also in Module 1, Part 1. So now we're going to begin working in design view to create the table. So we will go to our Create tab, and on the Create tab we're going to locate the button for the table that has the word design in it. Any of the buttons that have the word design in it will open you up into the design view for that object. So we're going to go ahead and click on Table Design. Now in the table design, we're going to begin creating our fields. Instead of seeing the fields going across the column headings, you are now going to see them going down the rows in the top portion of this design view screen. So our first field is going to be called invoice number, so it's going to be invoice NUM. When you tab out of that field name, you'll notice it gives you a list of options. You can choose the type of field that it is. We're going to choose short text for this particular field. And when we tab through, we are going to give it a description called primary key. Later on in Module 2, we will begin looking at the bottom options on this particular screen, but for now, let's just continue adding fields. So we're going to click on the next row down to begin a new field. This one is Visit ID. So Visit ID. Again, it is going to be a short text field, so we can leave that one as is. And this one is going to be called a foreign key. Now, primary key and foreign key over here in the descriptions really do not do anything for Access itself. However, they do tell another user who's looking at your system some information about what those keys are. So we already talked about a primary key in Module 1 being the unique field with this particular table. It has to be unique, meaning it cannot be the same value in any two records. A foreign key is a unique or primary key in a different table, and later on we're going to use that foreign key to create a relationship and join those two tables together. The next field we're going to create is Invoice Amount. When we tab out of that, this time we will choose a data type of currency. You can either click the drop-down list and click on the option, or you can type the first letter and begin typing the word and it will pull it in for you. The next field is going to be the invoice date. It is going to be a date/time type of field. And the last field will be invoice paid. Invoice paid. It is going to be a yes or a no. So again, you can type the letter or you can choose from the drop-down list. Now, as we said a few minutes ago, the primary key in the description does not tell Access that this is the primary key. So in order to set the primary key, you need to click on the field. So we'll click on invoice number. With that row highlighted, we'll come up and locate the field in the Design tab tools of our worksheet, or excuse me, ribbon that says primary key. And we're going to click on that. When we click that button, you will see a visual of a key that shows up next to it in this gray box. Until you see a key, it is not the primary key of your table. You have to see the key in this box next to it. We can change the name of a field, so if we just wanted this to be AMT, we can click in front of the T and hit the delete key to get rid of those middle letters. So you can change the names once you have started creating the table. Now you'll notice you do not see the table listed in your object pane yet, and that is because you have not saved that table. So we need to save our table. So we come up and we click on the Save button, and we are going to call this table Billing. So we type in Billing and click OK. Once we save it, it is added to the object pane of our table, or excuse me, of our database. So again, if we want to close just the table, we will close this X next to the billing on the tab, not the main X that would close the entire database.